Welcome back to Ion Radio. I'm John.
And I'm Ken.
And today we are back playing Star Wars Shatterpoint.
That's right. If you notice, we had a learn to play battle, and it kind of ended right after the first struggle.
That's right. So if you've watched our learn to play and you want to pick up right where you left off, there is a link down in the description to get you there.
Otherwise, you're going to be able to see the full battle from beginning to end. And we hope you enjoy the climactic battle. It's going to be interesting.
So big thank you to AMG for sending us this review copy, allowing us to get you guys learn to plays and battle reports right as the game launches.
And also shout out to Skirmish Mats, who sent us the mat here that we're using today on the battlefield, Desolute Dunes.
Okay, if you would like to learn about the rules, you can download them free from AMG's website, and how to put the models together. There's a link that you can click down in the description to get you right to it.
Let's see what our strike teams are, how the squads are built, how everything is deployed out on the battlefield, and right into the action.
Here we go, into the game actual. Recon enemy positions, because I'm first player. It's deployed according to my player edge. We've both placed down our units, and we're going to get into the first turn actual. So, we go over to our deck, and I flip over first the 501st Clone Troopers. So we're going to go ahead and use them. Having drawn the 501st Clone Troopers, I have to activate them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by using one of their abilities called Defensive Maneuvers. Each character in this unit may do a dash. If any characters dash, they gain a Hunker token. That costs me one of my force points. So we're going to move first with this guy, with the smaller of the two movement tools. He can move all the way up to here. And then his friend is going to swing around here to cover this point. Then they gain the Hunker token. Now, as their first action, they're going to do a move. Because they're not engaged with anyone, they can do a full advance, which is the larger tool. So I'm only going to do an advance with the front guy, moving him here to get onto that other point. Now, as their final action, we're going to take cover, and we're going to be doing a shove with them. And after doing the shove, we're going to be taking another hunker. So this guy is going to shove forward to there. And this guy over here is going to shove to try to gain cover behind those crates, gaining an additional hunker token, leaving me now with 2 hunker tokens. Now we're going to check to see if I'm in range of these objective tokens, which means I have to be in distance 2, which both these units are. Because I have both of these, we place, for me, the blue token next to them, showing that I have them. This being the first turn, nothing will be changing on the struggle tracker.
First activation on my side of the table. We're going to flip our Shatterpoint card. And I showcase Kalani. So Kalani will be the one to activate. You'll note there is a symbol here. That is the tactic symbol, reminding me that Kalani has an ability to use at the start of his activation. Kalani's Roger Roger. At the start of this unit's activation, each allied battle droid's supporting character within range 4 of a character in this unit may dash. So let's go ahead and move our Roger Roger battle droids. So we're going to move this one. We're using the dash tool. Up front here. And the other one we're going to try and move behind these crates. Now that Kalani is done with his tactics order, we're going to take our first action. We're going to take a move action, and we're going to wind up moving alongside the ladder. So we make our move. We are now within range 1 of the terrain, allowing him to go up for free and be placed at range 1 of the ladder. For my second action, I'm going to take cover, which will allow me to move forward 1, and I gain my hunker token being put on his unit card. We are now within range 2 of that objective point and will gain control of the center objective. On this side, both of my battle droids are clearly within range 2 of this objective point, and I get to claim this one as well. Since I now control 2 of the objective points, I will score 1 for each, moving a struggle token 2 towards my side of the board.
Back to my turn. I reveal Anakin Skywalker. And looking at the board state, I've decided I don't want to activate him yet, so I'm going to put him into reserve, and by doing that I have to spend a force point. Then I have to activate the next card that's revealed, which is Bo-Katan, and she has the reminder that she has a tactics. So let's start off with Bo-Katan's tactics, which is Pride of Mandalore. At the start of this unit's activation, choose another allied Mandalorian character. The chosen character may jump. So we're going to pick this Mandalorian character, who is one of the Clan Kree's Mandalorians. And they're going to do a jump forward. The jump is done with the dash tool. Right to there. Now for her first action, she's going to do a move, which will be done with the advanced tool because she needs to get down range. Now, Bo-Katan triggers her Mandalorians Are Stronger Together, which says after this unit makes a move action, it may use this ability. If a character in this unit is within 2 of another allied Mandalorian character, this unit may immediately take a focus action. Then, after that, you can trigger Mandalore Will Survive. After this unit makes a focus action, which I just did, one character in this unit, which is herself, may make a dash and heal 2. I can't heal, but we're going to use the dash. The dash will make us land right next to this ladder, and we will move to the top of the ladder. So we get to move to the top of the ladder, and 1 away from the ladder places us right here. So, for our last action, we're going to be shooting. This is going to be a ranged attack. So Bo-Katan's ranged attack is distance 4. So while I have multiple targets, I'm going to select the B ones that are behind the crates. Because Bo-Katan is of a higher height, we're going to ignore that cover because I'm shooting down. That is one of the advantages of having the high ground. Bo-Katan's card's ranged attack is 6 dice. So we start with 6 dice. Then, because she had a focus action earlier, she gets to add a dice to the roll. So we're going to be rolling in 7 attack dice. A crit, 3 hits, an offensive expertise, and 2 failures.
On ranged attacks, battle droids will roll 4 defense dice. If they had cover, they would roll an extra die. My battle droids have rolled 2 dodges, a defensive expertise, and 1 failure.
So Bo-Katan has 1 offensive expertise, and according to her chart, her blaster pistols will convert that into a hit.
Battle droids, while defending, have occupation protocols. Unfortunately, with only 1 defensive expertise, they do not gain anything. So in this case, these 2 dodges will remove 2 strikes,
Giving Bo-Katan 3 successes to use on her attack tree. The first one adds 2 damage to the damage pool. I'm going to go up on the tree, which adds an additional hit and a pin token. Then, because we are on the top of the tree, we have to continue down that path. The next is 2 more damage, for a total of 5 damage in the damage pool.
So now we're applying the damage pool. B1 battle droids, they hate this job, so while they are contesting 1 or more active objectives, which they are doing, they gain protection. This allows me to remove 1 of the 5 damage from the pool, and then I will suffer the remaining 4.
Bo-Katan now has control over this point. She's pretty much standing on top of it. These clone troopers still have control over these 2 points. With 3 points controlled, I move the control point 3 to my side. 1, 2, 3.
My second activation here will be the Mandalorian Super Commandos. So let's get started with our first action, and we are going to move them forward. So here's the advance. The first one, moving here. Second one, moving up here. Now, similar to the Mandalorians on the opposing side, they're stronger when they're together. I'm within range 2 of another Mandalorian, so they both make a focus action. Second action is going to be an attack. So we're going to attempt to attack the clone trooper standing behind here. We're using ranged attacks because we are not within melee distance, and I am easily within range 4 from both characters. Now, my attack ranged starts with 5 dice. I will gain 1 extra one for the focus. I have 3 strikes, 1 offensive expertise, and 2 failures.
The 501st Clone Troopers, defense on ranged is 5. We have cover because of the crates, and we have 2 hunker tokens, which increase our cover as well, getting us all the way up to 8 total dice. We only have 6, so we're going to have to re-roll some. We have gotten 3 blocks, 1 expertise, and 4 failures.
On to modifying dice. The Mandalorian Super Commandos West Star 35 blaster pistol with 1 expertise changes the expertise into a strike.
Phase 2 clone armor changes the expertise into a block. So the clones managed with cover to block out all the damage.
Fortunately, we have 2 characters in this unit. We get to make a second attack. So 1 crit, 3 strikes, an offensive expertise, and 1 failure.
Same amount of dice for the clone troopers. So the clone troopers rolled a total of 6 expertise and 2 failures on their 8 dice.
So my blaster pistols, once again, my offensive expertise, become a strike.
The clone phase 2 armor, all 6 of those expertise, because their bracket is 3+, will change out for 2 blocks.
So the attack includes 4 strikes and a critical to John's 2 blocks.
The 2 blocks take out 2 strikes, leaving Ken with 3 successes.
So here we go with our attack and figuring out what we have in the damage pool. I'm going to start with the double damage. Moving into the combat tree, we're going to go to the right, which adds an additional damage and a strained token to the 501st Clone Troopers. I'm then going to move down the tree where I get a jump and add 1 additional damage to the damage pool. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump. And this commando is now over here in contesting that point. We're also now engaged with the clone trooper, forcing him to lose all of his hunker tokens.
The 4 damage that are in the damage pool get applied to the clone troopers. Neither of us have any effects after that. And it concludes the attacks.
This objective point is currently contested by both me and John. The point remains in his control. The point that Kalani has is still under my control, and the battle droids still control this objective point. This will move the struggle tracker 2 in my favor. I am still on my side of the board.
Next activation. The Shatterpoint card. At this point, I have a decision to make. I can use the Shatterpoint card to activate any unit on the board. Because I already have Anakin in reserve, I think I'm going to go with Anakin, knowing that later on when I need Anakin, I can pull him out of reserve to activate him again. Anakin is going to start off by doing a move which he's going to advance. Next, Anakin is going to use Force Jump by spending a Force Point. And this will allow him to do a jump. This lands him right next to the ladder, and he can move all the way up on top with distance 1 from the ladder. So now this is going to be close. Let's check range to Kalani.
Alright, checking the range. And Kalani and Anakin are now in melee combat.
So Anakin started the game in Form 5 Xian. Before I decide to make an attack, I get to change my form. So Anakin is going to flip over to Form 5 Jijem So, because that is the harder hitting of Anakin's abilities. Anakin's attack is 8 dice for melee. Anakin rolled pretty well. He gets 2 crits, 5 hits, and an expertise.
Well, let's roll the 3 defense dice for melee that Kalani has. And I have 1 of each. 1 block, 1 expertise, and 1 failure.
Anakin's lightsaber says that the 1 expertise changes into a crit.
Kalani's expertise, this is self-preservation, changes his expertise into a block.
With 2 blocks, 2 strikes get removed, leaving me with a total of 6 successes, which will get me all the way through my combat tree. So going down the tree, Anakin starts off with this heavy hitter with 3 damage. Then his next is 2 damage. The next is 2 damage and a strain. Then we're going to go down the path, and it's going to be a damage and a pin. Then it's going to be a damage and a shove. Anakin's positioning himself forward to take on whoever the CIS sends his way. The last is going to be a damage and a reposition, which will allow the character to do a full advance. I don't think I want Anakin to do a full advance, but I do want him to move far enough forward that he remains engaged with Kalani and at distance 2 of this control point. Like so.
So Kalani will now suffer all 10 damage points. This is sufficient to wound Kalani.
Because Kalani is wounded, 1 momentum cube covers the 7 on my side of the struggle tracker. Now, we're going to resolve Anakin's effects. This is where the fun begins. When a character in this unit, so Anakin, wounds an enemy primary or secondary unit, Kalani is a secondary unit. After the effect is resolved, move the struggle token 1 place towards your momentum cubes. So that puts it onto the 0 now. Then, if the wounded unit is a primary unit, each Galactic Republic character may heal. He's not a primary, so I do not get to heal. Now we're going to move into the end, and Anakin is now the only person on this center objective, switching it over to the light side. At the end of this turn, the Galactic Republic controls 4 points, moving the cube 4 towards my side, leaving it on my side on the 4.
Turning over the next order card, and I show the B1 battle droids. I'm going to go ahead and activate them, and my first action is going to be in advance. Note that this unit is currently pinned. This means when I make my first movement, this set of troopers, they cannot move and the pinned condition goes away. I can, however, move the next character. So this set of battle droids will go all the way up to the wall. For the second action, I'm going to make an attack. Let's make the attack. First, let's check some ranges. I am within range 5 of Anakin Skywalker, and since my battle droids are making a ranged attack and have a range of 5, I can do that. Let's take a look at the dice pool. B1 battle droids fire their E5 blaster rifles with 7 attack dice. I've rolled 1 crit, 5 strikes, and 1 failure.
Anakin Skywalker will be rolling 5 defense for his range. Plus, because I'm at a higher elevation on terrain, I will get cover, so a total of 6 dice. Anakin rolls 1 block, 3 defensive expertise, and 2 failures.
I have no expertise on offensively. John, what do you have defensively?
Anakin, for 3 expertise, adds in 2 blocks, and converts one of the crits into a hit.
That leaves us with 6 strikes to your 3 blocks.
The 3 blocks take out 3 strikes,
leaving me with 3 successes to go down the combat tree. First step is 1 damage, then 1 damage, and I may reposition. Alright, my repositioning, here's my advance. I'm going to go around the side of the building, which will then allow me to move up to the middle section. I can stay at range 1. and then we continue the attack. The third option is 2 more damage and an exposed token for Anakin, leaving me with 4 total damage to resolve.
The 4 damage go on to Anakin, and Anakin, as long as Ken doesn't have any more abilities, will trigger a special ability of his own. So Anakin is going to trigger a reactionary deflect. After a ranged attack, targeting a character in this unit, so Anakin is resolved. This unit may use this ability. If the attack contained 1 or more failures, the attacking unit suffers 2 damage.
Alright, so now I get to attack with my second set of battle droids. We're still within range 5, so here are my 7 dice. I have 1 crit, 3 strikes, 2 offensive expertise, and a failure.
Anakin rolls in 5 dice, plus 1 because of cover, for 6 total defense dice. Anakin rolls in 3 blocks, a expertise, and 2 failures.
Modifying my dice here, I have 2 successes. That will convert into 1 strike.
Because Anakin's exposed, he can't use expertise, and this is discarded. I remove 3 from Ken's pool.
That leaves me with 2 successes to go down the combat tree. Alright, so first option puts 1 damage on Anakin. Second option, another damage, and I can reposition. So I'm going to go ahead and make my advance. All right, we are going to move in such a way I am, again, right up alongside this wall.
Anakin suffers the 2 damage in the pool. He cannot re-trigger deflect because he's already used his ability once this turn. Anakin now has 6 total damage on his card.
So at the end of my activation, I have both of my battle droid units within range 2 of the objective token. However, as Bo-Katan, who's on John's side, is the only one at the same elevation, I am unable to contest it or change who controls that token. This token is still controlled by me, although there are none of my units nearby. Change only occurs when an opposing character is within range 2. I will now move the struggle token 1 closer to my side. As the control token is still on John's side of the struggle tracker, I will gain 1 momentum, covering up the 7 on my side.
Captain Rex was pulled. He has a tactics. Get a move on soldier. At the start of this unit's activation, choose a character in this unit or another allied Galactic Republic character. The chosen character may dash and then gain a hunker. He sees these clone troopers being harassed by the Mandalorian and has decided to give it to himself. So he's going to dash under this to here, gaining a hunker token. Now, he's going to use his ability Defensive Maneuver. Each character in this unit may do a dash. If characters dash, they gain a hunker token. This will cost me a force point. So Rex has done that without actually using any of his actions. So now what he's going to do is he's going to perform a heal action. Rex is here to help out his clone bros, and he will remove the strain from the 501st Clone Troopers. While healing his friends, is now going to aim downfield at those pesky Mandalorians. He can shoot distance 5, but he's going to target the closer one with an attack. Okay, so let's make this attack. And when I do that, the 501st Clone Troopers will be able to trigger one of their reactions. Now that they don't have strain, they won't take the strain damage. Rex was thinking ahead here. It is coordinated fire. When a character in another Allied Galactic Republic unit makes an attack as part of the combat action, before dice are rolled, this unit may use this ability. If the targeted character is within 5 of a character in this unit, which is the clone, which is clearly 5, we're practically touching, the target immediately gains a strain token. Now Rex is going to make his attack. His ranged attack is 7 attack dice. Rex has rolled 2 crits, 4 hits, and an expertise.
The Mandalorian Super Commandos, 4 dice for defense. Incredible roll here. I have 4 defensive expertise.
Rex with 1 offensive expertise with his D17 blaster pistols will add in 2 hits.
And at 4 expertise, the Beskar armor only gets me 2 dodges. 2 dodges will remove 2 of John's strikes.
That leaves me with 6 successes, which will get me all the way down my tree. So let's take a look at that. We're going to start off going the lower portion of Rex's attack tree. The first one is a damage and a shove. We're going to shove this character back to there. And then Rex is going to take a step forward. The second is another damage and an additional shove. So we're going to continue to shove this character backwards. Rex will not follow up. The third is 2 heals. Because you can use this on yourself or another unit within distance 2, Rex is going to heal with the first heal, the strain, and with the second heal, we'll heal a damage off the clones. Next, he will give a pin token to the Mandalorians and another damage. Then the final step is a damage and reposition, which he chooses not to do. For a total of 4 damage to the Mandalorians' Super Commandos. That will end Rex's turn, and I control 4 command points. Moving 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have met my momentum and win this struggle.
All right, so John has won the first struggle. That has him take the card. We will reset the struggle tracker. The struggle token goes back to 0, and we reset the momentum tracker with 1 on each of the 8s. And then we flip over the next objective card.
The title of the second struggle is We've Been Double-Crossed. The objective card faces the player that is player 1, like this, and Ken gets to decide on which of those he would like to do because I won the last struggle.
I'm going to choose this one only because this is going to be the best one. So I'm selecting the one closest to John in terms of how to change it. So John and I are going to swap what the objective points, which objective points are currently active. Double cross indeed, as John pretty much can control 2 of these without too much difficulty. Priority token is going to be this one down here, so I put the marker here. That actually looks pretty good for me. All right, for my first activation of the second struggle, I pulled Darth Maul. Maul, I'm going to start off with switching his stance card to Dark Rage. I want to be able to use something a little bit more offensive. And I'm going to start by spending 1 force point for force speed. Force speed allows me to advance. So Maul will advance up to the stairway, which will allow him to go up. And I'm going to stay, so getting up on top of the building, range 1 away from there, still able to control the token. And I am within melee range of Anakin. My first action will be to take a focus action, and my second action will be to attack Anakin himself. So let's get to that attack. So I get my 7 dice under Dark Rage melee attack, and an 8th one because of the focus. And I wind up getting 1 crit, 3 strikes, 3 expertise, and 1 failure.
Anakin's defense, he's more of an offensive player, so he only gets 5 dice. Anakin rolls a block, 2 expertise, and 2 failures.
Alright, with my 3 offensive expertise, I will gain 1 crit, 1 strike, and I will add 1 damage into the damage pool.
Anakin will get, with his 2 expertise, a block, and convert one of the crits into a hit. At this point, my 2 blocks will remove 2 hits.
And that leaves me with 4 successes for the attack. Going down the combat tree, my first step will be 2 damage. So the second step, I'm going to go up the tree for 2 damage. Moving across adds 1 more damage and a strained token to Anakin. The final one adds 2 more damage to the pool, and Darth Maul gets the jump. And Maul will jump down next to the token. That gives us sum total of 8 damage to Anakin.
Anakin already has 6, so that will hit his threshold of 11, wounding him.
I gain 1 momentum token for wounding Anakin.
When Anakin gets wounded, Ahsoka can use her identity. When an enemy character wounds another allied unit, this effect is resolved. One character in this unit, Ahsoka, gets to advance toward the enemy that caused the effect. Then the character that moved may either heal 3, or if the character is engaged with the enemy character, it may make a 5 dice attack targeting the enemy character. She won't be able to do the healing or the attacking, but she will be able to do in advance.
Checking for control of tokens. Darth Maul controls the priority token here.
The clone troopers control this side of the board.
Alright, at the end here, I will gain 2 spots on the struggle tracker. Now sitting at 2 on my side.
At the start of my turn, I rolled a failure, and the priority token stays where it is near Maul. Ahsoka gets drawn from the deck, and she's going to start off by spending a force to make an advance. At this point, Ahsoka is going to make a normal advance. She is now in range of Maul and the priority objective. She will now make an attack against Maul. Ahsoka is in Form 5 Shen Reverse Grip and gets to attack with 6 attack dice. Ahsoka rolls a crit, 3 hits, and 2 failures.
Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. Defends with 5 dice. And I have 1 dodge, 2 expertise, and 2 failures.
I have no expertise, so I do not convert anything.
Maul's 2 expertise converts into 1 block. Those 2 block will remove 2 strikes from John's attack pool,
leaving me with 2 successes to move down my tree. The first one will give me a damage into the pool and allow me to shove Darth Maul. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a shove to Maul. We're trying to move him as far away from this point as possible.
and for the moment, Maul is still contesting that objective.
Okay, then we're going to move down the damage tree, which adds an additional damage into the pool, and allow Ahsoka to make a jump. And she will jump directly on top of the objective, like so. Darth Maul will receive 2 damage. Ahsoka, while she has landed on the objective, does not get the objective, but I get 2 objective points for the other 2 objectives that I hold, landing us on 0. When the struggle token lands on 0, both sides gain a momentum.
Okay, roll for the objective point. It stays the same, and I pull a Shatterpoint card. I'm going to activate Maul once again. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and focus as my first action, and then attack Ahsoka as my second. Staying with Dark Rage, Maul will roll 8 dice to attack. That gives me 3 strikes, 2 expertise, and 3 failures.
Ahsoka rolls 7 defense dice in Form 7 Shin Reverse Grip. I've rolled 3 blocks, 1 expertise, and 3 failures.
Alright, with 2 expertise, Maul changes one of these into a crit and puts 1 damage into the damage pool.
Ahsoka, with 1 expertise, will change this into a block and change the crit into a hit. I have 4 blocks, which will block out 4 of Ken's attack dice.
That leaves me with no ability to attack with successes. However, Ahsoka will still take 1 damage. At the end of the turn, we are still contesting that point. I control it. I will gain 2 points on the struggle tracker.
Okay, at the start of my turn, I rolled a block, which positions the priority over by Rex. And I have now pulled the last card out of my deck, besides Anakin, who's in reserve, which is the Clan Kryze Mandalorians. The Clan Kryze Mandalorians are going to start off by spending a force point to jetpack. This guy is going to land right here, which is in range of this ladder, and is going to go up the ladder. Positioning myself right there. The next guy is going to do his jetpack right to there. For my second, we're going to be doing an advance. And what's going to happen is this guy is going to go first and is going to move right over here to this ledge edge. And then the second guy is going to land, and he's going to also go up this ladder. That should land them within 2 of each other. It does, which will trigger Mandalorians Are Stronger Together. After this unit makes a move action, it may use this ability if the character is within 2 of another allied Mandalorian character. The unit immediately becomes focused. Now they're going to split fire and shoot at multiple targets. We're going to start with this Mandalorian unit shooting down at this Mandalorian unit. And because I focused, I have Sharpshooter, which gives me an additional dice to the focus, and your unit can't benefit from cover. So I'm going to be rolling in 6, plus 1 for focus, plus 1 for my Sharpshooter 1, 8 total attack dice. I have rolled a crit, 2 hits, 2 expertise, and 3 failures.
4 defensive dice for the Mandalorian Super Commando. A block, 2 expertise, and 1 failure.
Okay, my 2 expertise become 1 hit.
My 2 expertise become 2 blocks. My 3 blocks will take out your 3 strikes.
Leaving me with my crit and 1 success. We're going to be starting on the top of my damage tree, giving you a pinned. You already have a pinned, so it converts directly to a damage. and then it adds 1 damage into the damage pool, which then you take another one. Second attack, this Mandalorian is going to shoot across at those pesky battle droids. Again, sharpshooter with focus, can't get any cover, and I get +2 attack dice for a total of 8 attack dice. I have gotten a crit, 4 hits, and 3 failures.
The battle droids will roll 4 defensive dice, giving me a block, an expertise, and 2 failures.
I have nothing to convert because I have no expertise.
And my expertise converts to nothing, leaving me with 1 block, removing 1 strike from John's pool.
I get a total of 4 successes. So for damage, I will start on the top, which will be a damage and pin the battle droids. Next, that will move me into the middle, which will be 2 damage and a shove. So, I'm going to try to shove these droids off of this. So we're going to move as far that way as I can. Can you move it? I will get them off of it.
You definitely will. Maybe about there. That look good?
It looks good to me. And then I'm going to follow up, which will line this up to the droids. Are you good with that?
Yeah, pretty much anywhere on that gantry.
And I will move as far as I can, which is right there. Next, we will go down and give the battle droids an expose. And then for our final, we move back up, which will give a damage and another shove. We're going to go ahead and take that shove, which will move the battle droids to there. And then we will take a follow-up, which I will move myself off. Good with it being right there?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. The battle droids will be getting 4 damage from the damage pool, which will hit them over to wounded, gaining a momentum for myself. At the end of the turn, none of the control points have changed hands. I do hold the priority and will gain 3, which will end 1 on my side.
The priority token has shifted back to the one in front of Darth Maul that Ahsoka is standing on, and Asajj Ventress is pulled up as the next activation. Starting off, we are going to spend 1 force token to do Dathomirian Dexterity, which allows me to jump. I could do this twice, but I only need to do it once. Asajj is clearly in melee range of Ahsoka. We're going to focus as a first action and then attack. Melee will give me 9 attack dice because of the focus. Worth noting that Asajj has switched to the Jar-Kai side of her stance card. Asajj has 1 critical, 3 strikes, 3 expertise, and 2 failures.
Ahsoka rolls in 7 defense dice. Ahsoka will roll 2 blocks, 3 expertise, and 2 failures.
The 3 expertise on Asajj Ventress's twin lightsabers convert into a crit and a strike.
The 3 for Ahsoka will convert into 2 blocks, reduce one of Asajj's crits to a hit, and then allow me a jump afterwards. I have 4 blocks, which will remove 4 of Ken's successes.
Leaving you with 2 successes. I'm going to use the bottom of the combat tree. First option is a damage and strained. And the second one is a damaged and disarmed. That will conclude this attack, giving Ahsoka 2 damage, giving her 3 in total, a strained and a disarmed token. At the end of this activation, I have not gained a new point. I still control the priority token, bringing the struggle 2 more to my side, leaving it 1 towards me.
So I've rolled a expertise, which puts it back on my side of the table and where that clone trooper is for the priority. Then I have no cards in my deck, which forces me to use my reserve card, which is Anakin Skywalker. When I do that, he discards all of his damage and 1 status, which is going to be the strained, and I flip my wound over to the other side, showing that I am injured. Everything now costs extra points, which means I really can't use any force powers with Anakin. Anakin's going to make a move, even though it looks like he's engaged with Kalani. Kalani is injured, so Anakin can make a full advance, which will take him right off the edge. Down here. And engage Darth Maul. Anakin's going to flip over to Form 5 Shien, which does less damage. So let's go ahead and roll in the 7 attack dice. Anakin's roll is pretty miserable. It is a crit, 3 hits, and 3 misses.
Lord Maul rolls 5 dice for defense, getting 2 blocks and 3 expertise. As there's no offensive, with 3 defense, the expertise becomes a block. I get to heal 1, removing 1 damage, and a jump later. My 3 blocks remove John's 3 strikes,
leaving me with just 1. So that 1 will give Darth Maul 2 damage and a shove, which I'm going to shove him straight toward the board edge. Straight away from Anakin. Then I'm going to move forward straight toward Maul, that shove distance.
All right, now that the attack is over during Maul's component part of this, I get to jump. Maul's going to try and stay next to this point.
Sadly, Anakin was not able to gain control of that point. I do still control 2 points, and the priority scoring 3 for myself.
So the priority objective token is jump back to my side, and Gar Saxon is the card that activates. Special tactic here, Pride of Mandalore. At the start of this unit's activation, choose another allied Mandalorian character. That chosen character may jump. So the commando here that is kneeling is going to jump forward, which will contest this point. And then I'm going to spend a force to use my jetpack, which allows Gar Saxon to jump. I'm now in range 2 of another Mandalorian character, which allows me to use Mandalorians are stronger together. Gar Saxon gains a focus action. And he does have, I've got you in my sights, so he has Sharpshooter 2. When a character's unit makes a ranged attack, which is just about to happen, that target will not benefit from cover. And after this unit makes a focus action, it can gain Hunker. Gar Saxon fires at range 5, so we're going to go after the standard clone troopers. I have 9 total dice that I have to roll. 2 from Sharpshooter and 1 from Focus, plus the original 6. So Gar Saxon is 1 strike, 5 expertise, and 3 failures.
The clones get to defend at range with 5 dice. The clones roll 4 blocks and 1 failure.
So my 5 expertise will become 2 crits and a shove.
All of the clones' blocks will only take out the single hit.
And then I get 2 successes. Going down the path, that's 2 damage in the first option, another damage and a jump in the second option. Let's do the jump now. That ends the attack, giving you 3 damage. Not enough.
Yes, that leaves the clone troopers on 6 damage.
I do get to now shove you.
I don't think there's anywhere that you can land a shove.
So here's my shove, John.
And then do you follow up?
I am going to follow up. So unfortunately I did not wound you. We now have 2 figures each contesting that point, but it doesn't change anything. I do have the priority token that puts 3 more in my direction. That's at 0. Each gain a momentum token.
Okay, start of my turn. I've used up my deck, so I shuffle it up. I get all my force back, and then I roll a failure, which puts the token again where the whole lightsaber battle is taking place. So I flip over my first card. It is Bo-Katan. I don't want Bo-Katan. I need Anakin here, and I need to use up all the force points I just got to try to double tap with him. So Anakin is what I'm looking for, or the Shatterpoint card. I spend a force to put Bo-Katan in reserve, and I draw the next card, which is Anakin. So Anakin's going to activate. Anakin is going to focus and flip himself into Form 5 Gen So, which is my heavy-hitting combat attack, and we're going to try to hit Maul so hard that he becomes wounded, pushing him off of the point. Okay, Anakin gets 9 attack dice. Anakin has rolled sets of 3s. 3 hits, 3 expertise, and 3 misses.
Let's see what Maul can do. Maul has 2 blocks in expertise and 2 failures.
Spending the 3 points of Anakin's expertise, he gets to add 2 crits into the pool.
Maul's expertise is converted into a block. My 3 blocks take out your 3 strikes.
Leaving me with 2 crits, and I will just do a total of 5 damage. Ken, I'm going to end this. I'm going to spend 3 points. Normally it's 2, plus 1 because Anakin's already wounded. So a total of 3 force points to make a second attack with the same everything. I do not get 9 dice this time because I've already used my focus dice. So it will be 8 dice. Anakin rolls 2 crits, 4 hits, and 2 failures.
5 dice from Maul again. Maul has 1 block, 1 expertise, and 3 failures, John.
Anakin has no expertise.
My 1 expertise turns into a block, so I can take 2 of your strikes out. That's still some successes for you, John.
Yes, it is. So, going down the tree, the first one is 3 damage. The second one is 2 damage. The next one is 2 damage and a strain. And then we're going to give you a... We're going to do another damage and give a pin. That will be well enough damage to wound Darth Maul. When Anakin wounds a primary or secondary character, this is where the fun begins triggers. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to move the struggle token 1 toward me. When he wounds Darth Maul, it adds an additional point. And then, because you were a primary character, Anakin allows me to heal another character, which Ahsoka is going to remove the strain token off of her.
Revenge. I must have revenge. When Maul is wounded by a melee attack, after the attack is resolved, 1 character in this unit may immediately dash and make a 5 dice melee attack targeting the character that wounded it. However, because I have to dash. Next time I would dash, I can't because of the pin token, so that goes away. But I am still in melee damage of Anakin. I get to roll 5 dice. So I get 5 dice plus 3 because I'm sustained by rage. Total of 8 dice attacking Anakin.
Anakin rolls in 5 defense dice. Anakin rolls a block, 2 expertise, and 2 failures.
With Maul's 2 strikes, 5 expertise, and a failure, his 5 expertise become 2 crits, and I add 2 damage to the pool.
My 2 expertise becomes a block and reduces one of yours from a crit into a strike. My 2 will block out 2 of your hits, leaving you with 2 for your damage tree.
So on Maul's damage tree, no matter what direction I go down, that's 4 total damage going to Anakin Skywalker.
I take it, so that will be a total of 6 damage to Anakin in retaliation. Now at this point, Maul is wounded and can't count for contesting. So on that point, we have Anakin and Ahsoka versus Asajj, which will flip this to the good guy's side, giving me all of the contested points plus priority for 4, which will move me well past the point of momentum, scoring the second card. And we are back. Man, that last activation was so thematic with Anakin jumping in and just pushing Darth Maul off that point by wounding him.
After Darth Maul did that double backflip back onto the ground after wounding Anakin in the first struggle, so many wonderful memorous, great moments in this game, and you could just really, the Clone Wars animated series oozes out of this game. Yeah, it really does.
It feels like you are the heroes or villains doing crazy things in that game. To note, it's Ken's fault that I drew that Anakin card, because I'm looking at the board when we shuffled, and I'm like, I need Anakin. I need to get Anakin over Shatterpoint, because Anakin needs to activate before I lose too much force, because all of his powers cost more because he's wounded.
Right.
And Ken shuffled that deck. I drew Bo-Katan. I'm like, nope, that's not a Shatterpoint or Anakin. And I put it away. And then I pulled that card out. I'm like, what do you think it is? It's Anakin. And I'm like, yes, we're going to finish this.
I was hoping it was thematic. Like, I don't know, Rex or one of the clone troopers or someone that would have not helped you out at all. Plus having the priority, well, it didn't matter because you scored all 3 points, but that priority token in the second one jumping around helped
kept
me
jumping
keep in the
to
game.
Your side.
It did. So who knows? 1 in 3 chance for that second struggle with the with where that goes.
Almost all of our characters were right at the wound threshold. Oh, it was really good.
Didn't lose any characters this time.
No. I feel like it's going to be very difficult to actually kill off a character.
I agree.
And I'm fine with that. Having all of your pieces, being able to move around, getting wounded hurts enough to not contest tokens. And then if you've already activated them, and you're not going to Shatterpoint them, like your support units, which are really weak, if they go first, you won't see them until the reshuffle, when they come up in the reshuffle, which could be then near the 3rd Shatterpoint. So wounding characters is enough to be bad.
No, completely agree. But still, a ton of fun. I don't think there was any point where I felt... I just was enjoying myself the whole time. So definitely shout out for the way this game is built up in terms of pure enjoyment. You get the Star Wars theme really pulled out of it. The way the characters interact, their abilities and everything else. I love it. This is great stuff.
Yeah. So, the one criticism I'm going to have is there's a lot of new terms and abilities.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember what that blood symbol, the blood drops, is called.
Strained.
It's
I
strained.
think about it.
I can't remember it. So every time we're playing the game and recording, I'm like, can't.
Blood token.
What is this? And while that doesn't really affect playing the game when you're just playing at home, recording it is painful because we have to edit things out all the time. So I would have liked a better reference chart. So AMG, make a better reference chart, and then that takes away pretty much all of my complaints for that.
All right, so one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is the next time that John and I get together filming, we are going to be bringing in both Count Dooku and Obi-Wan Kenobi, And there's a lot more units that have already been spoiled. Luminara, General Grievous, and a whole slew of them. If you're interested, we have an AMG update panel from Adepticon that kind of spoils a few more. But I think as more characters come in, we're going to have a lot more options, and that's going to change the dynamic of this game.
Yeah, the heart of the game is character abilities.
Yes.
And having more character abilities and being able to force how you build those strike teams. Do you work them all together, or do you go like all bounty hunter type units that they all are powerful little abilities all by themselves? Like
Commandos.
you have like a lot of options there.
All clones. Who knows? We'll find out. But special shout out here to Atomic Mass Games for sending us these review copy. We really appreciate it. And as you can see, we're putting it to good use with Learn to Plays and Battle Reports.
Okay, if you liked the map that we used, it's called Desolute Dunes, and you can check out Skirmish Maps. There's a link down below.
And since we were talking a little bit about abilities and whatnot, if you're interested in getting more information on how models get assembled, how the rules work, or anything else, check out the link below.
Okay, big shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon members. They help us make better content by purchasing new equipment and miniatures. So if you'd like to join their ranks, there's a link down below.
All right, until next time, thanks so much for watching. I'm Ken.
I'm John.
And this is Ion Radio.